Judge, Mr. October here. You sound like a cool dude.
That's not my voice. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. We have so many legends and luminaries at the bar here tonight. We are really, really honored by your presence tonight. What I'm really honored by is the fact that we have actually U.S. Marshals here tonight, and they haven't been sent out on an ICE detail, which is great. This is one of our most cherished traditions, the Twelfth Night. The event has consistently reminded us that even in a profession that is defined by rigor and seriousness, there is room for humor, and perhaps a little irreverence. And tonight we don't gather to argue motions, but to celebrate a remarkable career. And just as importantly, to gently roast it as well. And there is no one more deserving of that spotlight than Judge Lynch. Judge Lynch has served with distinction as a prosecutor, as a scholar, as a district judge, and now as a judge in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. He is widely admired for his intellect, his deep commitment to the rule of law, qualities that have earned him enormous respect. And tonight, it makes him a very, very inviting target. And that is the spirit of the 12th Night. We honor excellence. We honor it with satire. It reflects something important about this institution. We take law seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously. Many thanks to the Entertainment Committee of the Bar Association, the cast, and everyone who made tonight possible. And it takes real courage to perform in front of a room full of lawyers and judges. And even more to write jokes about a federal judge. So thank you all for being here tonight, and I hope you enjoy the evening.
Thank you, President Faridi. Good evening. My name is Martha Cohenstein. I'm called Marty. I'm a member of the Entertainment Committee and one of the co-producers of tonight's production. On behalf of the Entertainment Committee and our wonderful chair, Ginny Nunez, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the City Bar stage for our production of Best in Class, St. Gerard of Ridgewood, with a book written by the exceptionally talented Jack Stiglmeyer and lyrics by Bruce Turkle. For the uninitiated, and as President Faridi just mentioned, the Entertainment Committee has produced a biennial 12th Night show for more than a century at this point. Actually, it's closer to a full century. And it is a roast. I mean, it's a show that honors, not roasts, a prominent member of the bench or bar, hopefully with humor and affection. The committee was thrilled when Judge Lynch agreed to be our victim, honoree. Our happiness, however, soon turned to despair as we worked on the show. How could we write a script criticizing, poking fun at, and ridiculing a person who seemed to be universally admired, beloved, and indeed apparently flawless? Judge Lynch was described as someone who is always the smartest guy in the room, a thinker, a measured, thoughtful person with a terrific sense of humor, a judge who is intellectually serious, and someone who is deeply respected as a judge, teacher, and colleague. Our mission was challenging, searching for scandals, skeletons in the closet, character flaws, challenging but not impossible. An in-depth study of the man gave us all the ammunition we could ever have hoped for. And now I say, let the chips fall where they may. We don't fear the appearance of impropriety, we embrace it. Let our little theater troupe comprised of starstruck lawyers and judges take you through a journey of Judge Lynch's life and career. And now, on with the show.
Friends, judges, fellow lawyers, lend us your ears. We come to roast Jerry, not to praise him. The decisions judges write live after them. Their follies often terrid with their bones. So let it not be with Jerry. His noble wife Karen hath told us Jerry is pedantic. If so, it is a harmless fault, and harmlessly hath Jerry answered it. Here, under leave of Karen and the rest, for Karen is an honorable wife, so too are you all, honorable bar members. Come we to roast Judge Gerard E. Lynch. You know, we sought out failures, found that he was best in class every single year. We sought his enemies, they were all his friends. We sought out scandal and found living sainthood. We combed the records, we deposed his barber, we went through his trash, and as a last resort, I called Karen. And Karen said he is pedantic. So we thought, good enough. Oh, comedy, thou hast fled, and lawyers lost their sense of humor. Bear with us. Our hearts are with Jerry, as we make him sit through corny jokes and song parodies.
Now that we picked him to
Queens.
Brooklyn.
Queens. I'm pretty sure it's Queens.
It's Brooklyn. As I say, our story begins in a little 1950s neighborhood on the border of two boroughs where young Judge Lynch's meteoric academic rhymes could no longer be ignored by his parents, Gerard Norman and Marjorie Ann.
You know, that boy might be too smart for his own good. First in his class every single year, from kindergarten to 4th grade. Straight A's from blocks and shapes to phonics and even grammar.
And now we've let the nuns convince us to send him straight to 6th grade? At his height? The kids will eat him alive.
Oh good, Jerry, you're home. How was school?
Mother, how was school? You skipped the whole grade. It must have been really hard.
We had a pop quiz today. I scored 100.
And what's that you have in your hand there?
A book, a letter, prayer cards of St. Gerard.
Prayer cards of St. Gerard, as in your name, Gerard?
Yes, Mother.
And just where did you get 20 prayer cards of St. Gerard?
The girls gave them to me. I guess they think I'm cute. They even started calling me St. Gerard.
All right, Jerry. Go wash up for dinner before you blaspheme your way out of St. Matthias. The nuns won't like that one bit.
You know, I just don't want him getting a swelled head, Gerard.
Nonsense. We've raised Jerry right. And guess what? The nuns want him to test into an exclusive private all-boys school on the Upper East Side. We can't afford it, but they're saying it's free. We know you'll be successful. We know you'll be a star. Curious, respectful, serious and smart. Respecting education, memorizing poems, diagramming sentences in classrooms and at home. You're going to be a high achiever. You'll make your way by parsing words. You'll be the jewel of every grade and school. Knowledge is the future you deserve. Your mother valued learning. She taught you how to read. Your tribe began emerging ever since you turned 3.
Your father worked on airplanes, had an engineering mind, taught the merits of hard work, which you then applied.
You'll be the first to attend college. You'll be the first in every class. Catholic schooling will be fun. Don't be frightened of the nuns. Focus on your studies and advance. Maybe you'll go to Regis, an achievement certainly. Excelling in debate extemporaneously. You'll navigate commuting, riding subways and the bus. It may take 3 hours a day, but for Regis you'll adjust. Set your path on education. Studies will always serve you well. You're going to see just how much you will achieve. Put your faith in learning and excel.
that young Jerry Lynch was so advanced he was allowed to skip from 6th grade directly to high school. He attended the prestigious Regis High School on Manhattan's Upper East Side. There, he learned some of life's most important lessons, like on the first day that the uptown trains go north. Well, actually, it's not that difficult to understand if you never left Ridgewood. At Regis, young Jerry was exposed to art, theater, debate, and most importantly, to the pinnacle of riveting teenage intellectualism, Greek and Latin.
Now, as headmaster, I know you're all anxiously awaiting the class rankings I have here. And I want to assure you that there is no consequence at all to these numbers, except that they will affect the rest of your lives. Where you go to college, your careers, your future financial stability, all of it rests upon these rankings.
I want to go to Villanova or Notre Dame and carry on Catholic traditions.
Are you kidding? Those aren't Jesuit. You've got to go somewhere like BC or St. Louis. Real Jesuit schools to carry out the Regis motto, Deo et Patria, Pietas Christiana Erexit.
I thought our motto was meant for others.
Quiet over there. Now, every Regis man knows there's only one university to which we aspire, Xavier in Cincinnati. All right. Now it's time to read the rankings. Number 1, this student embodies Regis. He has grown into a true man for others, one who will carry on the Regis legacy like some of our distinguished alumni, Anthony Fauci and Colin Jost from Saturday Night Live, whatever that is. Drum roll, please.
It's Lynch, isn't it?
Of course it's Lynch, it always is.
I said quiet! Not you. Now, without further ado, the Regis valedictorian, Gerard E. Lynch.
Jerry, that's you.
What a surprise. What an honor, truly.
You've done it again. First in class, so what are your plans? I think you're exactly the kind of man that Xavier needs. Well, what do you think?
Looks great. Who could be going from a city like New York to a major metropolis like Cincinnati? You know, there's just one thing. It says here that there's mandatory ROTC.
Well, of course. What could be more honorable and in the service of Christ and your fellow man than serving in the United States military?
We all know, Headmaster, that there's mandatory and then there's mandatory. You know what I mean?
No, Lynch, I don't.
You see, it's like this. I'm a New Yorker, born here, schooled here. Isn't there somewhere that's a little better of a fit?
You don't mean some godless Ivy like Columbia? Like
Columbia sounds great!
Okay, girlfriend, how about a song?
Yup. He was definitely turning out to be a genius. Some might even say a Regis genius. He came into Manhattan, a student superstar, absorbing every subject, exceptionally smart. No kid in class can match him. He's every teacher's pet. He's a Regis genius. He has not stopped yet. He reads in Greek and Latin and knows what the words mean. His English is perfection. Who knew he came from Queens? He's great on the debate team. His arguments refined. He's a Regis genius. He's a real wonder kind. He's but he's fastest on his feet. He is number one here, no others can compete. He's a righteous genius who never faced defeat. He said he'd go to college, but not where that would be. He visited Xavier, but said no ROTC. Reach the Holy Grail, and so he just applied to Columbia and Yale. He chose to stay in New York, a city that he knew. At last the choice was simple, all his dreams came true. All his dreams came true.
And just like that, it was off to the Ivy Leagues, where Jerry would continue his studies and grow into the man we know and love today, pursuing his noble, noble goal of finishing first in every single academic endeavor. But this was no normal time to go to college. The atmosphere in Morningside Heights was tense. Political activism and protests consumed the small campus and the surrounding neighborhood, something completely unheard of in our civilized time. Having received his acceptance letter the day of the Morningside riots, Jerry arrived to Columbia with a fire in his heart and a duty to pursue good for his fellow man. All that was left was to pick a major, one where he could use his talent, skills, and intellect for good.
Hell no, we won't go! Hell no, we won't go! Hell no, we won't go!
Columbia, the time is now. The administration says we should study quietly in Butler Library while our government drops napalm on poor rice farmers. They say we should write our term papers while corporations profit from debt. The time for talk is over. It's time for action.
While Rome burns, some of you study Rome. While our generation is called to action, some of you translate aortic participles. The administration wants us compliant. The government wants us silent. So I ask all of you, what will you study to make your impact felt in the world?
Well, I'm pretty good at Greek.
Greek? Brothers and sisters, we don't need dead languages. We need living resistance. We don't need to parse Cicero's speeches against Catiline. We need to give speeches against Westmoreland. The Republic is in peril now, not in 63 BCE.
Well, technically, Cicero's first Catilinarian addresses civic duty during constitutional crisis, which seems rather...
The administration has paused all graded exams until further notice. Our protests are working.
All right.
Follow me to Ferris Booth Hall. We're organizing the resistance. We've got revolutionary speakers. We've got mimeograph manifestos. And we've got envelopes. So many envelopes, and I need somebody to help me stop them.
No exams, no grades, no rankings, learning for its own sake? Just like Plato says in the Republic.
You love the language of ancient times. Oh, it's so sublime. Express yourself in Latin and in Greek. You love to read the works of Plato, Aristotle, Cato. Socrates is really quite unique. You can dissect Aristophanes. What a guy was he. Euripides and Virgil were fine too. Then there's Seneca and Perseus. Oh, how they could work us. Ovid was a poet emperors knew. You comprehend the meaning of the Odyssey. Antigone and Lysistrata too. And may you say, without a hint of modesty, I can quote Sophocles. Can't you? You delight in Oedipus Greek to stun, and Latin's lots of fun, but not for everyone. The words feel right when still they may cross my tongue. It is the classic life for me. You love classical mythology, whole anthologies, learn about the muses and the fates. You studied Artemis and Ares, Athena was the fairest, Zeus was a noble head of state. You adore Roman myths and gods, Hercules and Mars, and tales of Mercury and Pan. The lovely Venus and Diana, the mythic panorama of Bacchus, I have always been a fan. You've often read of Romulus and Remus, a pair of twins said to have founded Rome. Let's not forget the goddess known as Venus. She was a genius, you're told. You could have been a great classicist, taught a class in it, but you thought the pay would not be great. So you decided to study law, earning a whole lot more. Cut the cord, exploring the ancient world, but you still love it evermore.
As it turns out, without exams to study for, Jerry, like many Columbia students, found himself with a bit of spare time and decided to devote himself to contributing to the greater good by volunteering at Ferris Booth Hall. An altruistic endeavor, having absolutely nothing to do with the fact that Jerry attended an all-boys Catholic high school. So that is why Jerry decided to nobly and selflessly help a girl he found extremely attractive, for no other reason than his desire to serve his fellow man, to escort a famed civil rights activist, Ralph Abernathy, from a luxurious hotel in Midtown Manhattan, all the way to Morningside Heights, to address Columbia students.
Where is he? When he confirmed, he said 4 p.m. sharp, Hilton Hotel.
Well, it looks like we may be here a while. Why don't we take a seat at the bar and have a drink?
I suppose we could do that, but if only there were a magical device that we could rely upon, where we could give a message at any time, day or night.
What a horrible idea to be accessible 24 hours a day. Look, let's just sit here and wait patiently together. Besides, this will give us some time to discuss Herodotus. I was on a committee that brought in pretty famous folks to speak. I was asked if I could drive into town where I would find Ralph Abernathy. I drove up to his grand hotel with this charming mademoiselle in my front seat. I asked the hotel personnel if they could give old Ralph a yell while we would wait, and we sat outside in the street. And we waited for Abernathy. Our first date was for Abernathy. We talked like we could go on forever this way. 2 kids and Abernathy.
We spoke
what he's been doing. He says justice pursuing a smile shines on my face. And suddenly I feel my stress give way. I start to drive. We hear him speak. He has arrived. Grateful we've come together. We've come together. And everything's okay.
We had waited for Abernathy, glad we had fought for Abernathy. We all felt like we could drive together all night, all night. And through the green lights, till morning sunrise, we would be alright.
Forever this way. Two friends.
New friends.
And Say, Karen, what a wonderful night of civic engagement. What do you say we keep it going and go grab some dinner?
Oh, thank you.
As fate would have it, though, that would not be Jerry's last attempt at courting Karen.
What's this? 2 tickets to the New York Philharmonic tonight? At Lincoln Center, conducted by Leonard Bernstein? But what am I going to do with 2 tickets? Karen! Well, Karen, she did mention that she liked music, but she already turned me down once.
Hello?
Karen? Jerry Lynch here. I was wondering, well, I have these 2 tickets to New York Philharmonic, and you know Bernstein is conducting.
Bernstein, pick me up at 6, sharp.
And the rest, as they say, is history. Young love. Wait a minute. I don't think that's right. You guys are here to see how he became a judge, right? I need my files. Yes. Okay. So, after Jerry married Karen, looks like the Vietnam War was still in full swing, right? He was no longer a student, so we had no way to dodge the draft. Avoid the draft? That sounds legal, right? You know what? We're just gonna move on. Next thing.
After once again graduating at the top of his class, Jerry had to choose between a PhD in classics or all the diverse career opportunities or law school.
What's everyone all dressed up for? Is there a dress code here?
Dressed up? They're dressed up for their on-campus interviews with big law firms.
What's so special about these big firms?
Are you kidding me? Get one of these jobs and you're set for life. No more stress. Big clients, big cases, and they get this. They start you at 25 grand.
$25,000? I think that's more than my dad did his entire career. So what exactly are these law firms looking for?
Look at them. high-class rankings, of course. And of course you did a summer internship with a judge. And the single most important, end-all, be-all, can't get hired without it, a spot on Columbia Law Review.
Law review, the unpaid labor they want us to do in the summer, in addition to the unpaid labor we do for law firms and judges over the summer?
That's right. As editor of the Columbia Law Review, I can tell you firsthand we are the best and brightest Columbia has to offer. Firms knocking on our doors, begging us to... Hey, you were first in your class, weren't you? Why don't you join us and see what real law school intellectualism looks like?
And what if I needed to say work full-time to pay tuition and don't join law review?
You've only been making the biggest mistake of your life. One you could never, ever come back from. Can you imagine limiting your career potential by not joining law review? Join us. Cite check articles. Live up to your potential of billing 8,000 hours a year.
I'll pass.
You have no idea the mistake you just made. No one who spurns law review ever accomplishes anything.
Oh yeah? Watch me.
Trust me, we will. We are law students now here at Columbia. The inside crowd right here in academia. There may just be a little hint of bias, but look how far he's come from St. Matthias. We're roughly sweet, consider us elite. We're just a bunch of geeks here in the Ivy League. Education at its best, we knew we'd achieve it, yes we are so truly blessed. He is the best in class, so gee, what else is new? Although he's unsurpassed, he'll spurn the law review. He has no time to edit their articles with a tuition. He is remarkable. Although some folks here say there is a real cachet to have the law review beyond your resume. Since he can't afford the cost, he must decline. He will work so he can pay. We will be in demand when we all graduate. We won't go hand in hand, we'll go at growing rates. Rather than stand arms on maybe poise, we'll pay a lot for us and never think twice. Perhaps we'll choose to learn or work in corporate law and with some decent pay while working like a dog, billing hours and long hard days. Can't wait to be there when our law school is done.
Lynch, I'm glad I found you. What are your plans after law school?
Well, other than mounting to nothing because I made the biggest mistake of my life, I'm not so sure.
Great, you're cooking for Justice Brennan.
Justice William Brennan of the Supreme Court?
That's the one. Great stuff, Lynch, and congratulations on valedictorians. The coat over there almost had you beat.
After narrowly edging out the former future Honorable Judge Denise Code for valedictorian, it was off to clerking for Gerard. First, for the Honorable Judge Wilfred Feinberg on the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, and then to the big leagues, Justice Brennan and Scotus. But since all of you esteemed folks have all obviously clerked in all kinds of courts. We won't bore you with the details. Rest assured, as you all already know from your own impressive clerkships, Jerry learned quite a bit. And before he knew it, those 2 short years had passed. And what else is there to do for an unemployed law student after graduation but to immediately slide into a tenure-track faculty at his alum?
Today is my first day teaching criminal law. Now, let's start off with some icebreakers, a favorite activity of folks. We'll start by introducing ourselves and giving one fun fact about ourselves, and I'll start. My name is Gerard Edmund Lynch. My father was also Gerard, but I'm not a junior. He was Gerard Norman, I'm Gerard Edmund. Edmund was my maternal grandfather's name. I was known as Gerard to my family, and still on to my sister Peggy and her family. My father was Jerry, so of course that seemed like the adult thing to do, so I became Jerry upon going to high school. People ask me why I spell Jerry with a J, and the answer is simply, that's actually what my father did. I would get mail and occasionally even professional correspondence from lawyers or draft opinions from new law clerks in other chambers with the name Gerald. But in Ireland, Geralds are more typically Protestant or even Jewish, while Gerard is a classic marker of Catholicism. But you all should call me Professor Lynch. Right, now what's next? There you, young man. You look awfully familiar.
Hi, Professor Lynch. My name is Jason Smith. I don't know how much fun it is, but we took undergraduate classes together. I wanted to do a new translation of Lycophon's Alexandra.
That is quite fun, a tough task, too. You know, the thing with Alexandra...
Well, I'm Caroline Kennedy.
Pardon?
I'm Caroline Kennedy.
Of course you are, Miss Kennedy. Do you have a fun fact for us other than your blue blood Cape Cod lineage?
I mean, I'm Caroline Kennedy.
An impressive accomplishment indeed, Miss Kennedy. The daughter of a president taught by the son of an airline mechanic. Who would have thought? Now, students, criminal law. The United States treatment of the accused in our legal system is one of the defining features of it. It is our grave responsibility to protect the rights of the accused while still pursuing justice for the victims of crime. Now, does anyone have any questions before we get started?
Professor, how does the prosecution establish mens rea in a case where the defendant has a mental illness?
How can we prevent juror bias in an age of social media?
Is prosecutors seizing on the virtually unlimited scope of the language of RICO to bring indictments, misapplying the statute by attacking the affairs of business, labor unions, and government offices, as opposed to organized crime, therefore undermining the justice system?
Quiet, you're all getting way ahead of yourselves. And based on the structure of your questions, I have significant concerns about your legal writing abilities. Who here has ever diagrammed a sentence? All right, you know what? Let's start there.
In 1977, he started teaching, professor and mentor at Columbia Law. Decades of lessons, the subjects intrigued. Seasons of love, seasons of love.
It truly is moving to see young hearts and minds shaped by wonderful, caring professors. It's a little less moving when you look at what Columbia law charges per year in tuition. $80,000 to diagram a sentence. Maybe it was a sense of duty to his fellow man and his students, or perhaps he took a look around at his geriatric tenure-track colleagues. But either way, a restless Judge Lynch began to plot out his next opportunity. But first, to the ballet with Karen and Villia Hayes.
Yes, I am Villia Hayes. It's truly wonderful to be together tonight at dinner and the ballet. Should we order dessert?
We'll have to be careful. Jerry is only just now learning how to share.
I've been getting better.
You ate my birthday cake last year, Jerry.
It was chocolate lava cake, Karen. How can I resist? You know, I just can't shake the feeling that I should be out there doing something instead of teaching and writing. So much scholarly writing.
But that Rico article that you wrote, Jerry, it was so very, very, very long. I mean, it was as slow as Rudolph Nureyev prowling the stage.
That's either the greatest compliment I ever received or the greatest insult ever aimed at Nureyev.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Is this what I'm going to be doing for the next 50 years of my life, writing papers and grading finals? I'm still young. You know, the other day Richard Gardner pulled out his denture and offered me some of his tapioca pudding.
What about becoming a prosecutor? You could put into action some of what you wrote in your Rico article and do the right thing with the statute.
You know, I don't want to be at a firm with these law review kids. I'd rather give up Magnolia Bakery cupcakes than do that.
But really, Jerry, think of the good that you would do. And honestly, there is nothing wrong with the law review.
Give me a moment, I'm thinking.
We better be quiet, Villia. Jerry's thinking.
You know, the Stoics believe the only path to virtue is active participation in civic life. And I, with my Rico paper, well, I definitely diagnosed a disorder in our system. Now it's time to apply my analysis and actively participate. And I already know trials. I mean, I've seen trials.
Trials, plural.
Well, I've seen one trial, but I watched it from start to finish.
You were a juror, Jerry.
And what better way to experience a trial? Come on. I'll call Bob Fisk and see if I'll have you at the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Wow. Jerry, as an AUSA, he can practice what he preaches in his law review. So very bright, would shine a light upon racketeering. One day a law review issued an article that Jerry wrote, and here I quote, he made the case that Rico use had been abused by the prosecutors. Some offenses should not be deemed predicates. A Rico crime, limit targets only to real syndicates and to wise guys. Jerry proposed reforms. He warned the Rico law should be curtailed. That would be best. White collar and charged as a federal crime with serious time. People sent to prison for all of their lives. It's just not right. Jerry critiqued the scope, the sweep for law, and pointed out that Rico's wording had a flaw. Complained the language crossed the line on organized crime by the prosecutors. Statute abusers, wrongful accusers, tricky maneuvers, wrongful accusers, ba 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 ba.
And so, Jerry found himself working at the one place where everyone who works there is happy. Even for a time, Preet Ferrara and Rudy Giuliani, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York. He interviewed with the fearsome Robert Fisk.
All right, Lynch. I looked over your resume, and it's really impressive stuff. Let's see. First in every class, Columbia Law professor, learned to share chocolate desserts with life. All valuable skills, but I got one question for you. You'll be working with law enforcement. Seasoned veterans who can smell an academic egghead a mile away. Can you get along with cops?
Get along with cops? Are you kidding me?
Right. Your first trial starts tomorrow.
And so Jerry was off to the races. He won that trial. And another, and another, continue. Yeah, we get it. He won and won and won, continuing to succeed from best in class to best in court. And that reputation carried with it a chance to work on some higher profile cases. Perhaps the most high-profile media distraction case of the day.
On the charge of obstruction of justice, obstruction of Congress, destroying documents, and accepting an illegal gratuity, the jury finds defendant Oliver North guilty.
Lynch, pleasure to meet you. Lawrence Walsh, independent counsel, as I'm sure you already know. Oliver North is appealing his conviction, and I need you.
Me?
Yes, you. I've seen your work. We're assembling a crack team to take this one on. Oh, and by the way, I have a couple of youngsters I need you to keep busy for me. Jeff Berman and Jeff Tubin.
Berman and Tubin, sir?
Insert joke here. But we all know there is nothing funny about this crack team. No jokes here about either Jeff or Joff. Despite the impressive team, the government faced an uphill battle when Lynch went toe-to-toe with Judge Lawrence Silberman.
Don't read too much into it, Lynch. Judge Silberman is impossibly tough. He did have one good thing to say about you, though.
Something good? He went after me for an hour straight.
Jerry Lynch did not complain.
Did not complain. Put that on my gravestone.
At the New York Southern District, Barry Walsh called up one day to tap a mensch named Jerry Lynch and handed him a headline case. This case was more than trouble, the appeal of Ari North, the Contra
Lynch, always showing great restraint. Our Jerry will never complain. Well, Jerry had the knowledge, soaked the facts up like a sponge. But the circuit judge, he didn't hold a grudge, and he seemed to have prejudged. As he rolled on Jerry like thunder, as he said with hostile glee, your witnesses are tainted, don't say they ain't, 'cause they saw North on TV. Yes, he's smart, poised, Jerry Lynch, does not waver and does not flinch, always showing great restraint. St. Jerry will never complain. The judge was quite intrusive, overbearing and abusive, and he did hammer that the Castigar standard meant no answers couldn't be used. But Jerry told the judge that day, no, it did not slant at all. Like monks in our cell where no whispers could dwell behind our Chinese wall. Yes, it's smart, poised, Jerry Lynch, does not waver and does not flinch, always showing great restraint. Our Jerry will never complain. Well, that good old DC panel held in favor of Ollie North. It found that the Castigar creates a legal war even higher than it was before. But if Lynch was disappointed, he did not scream or cry. And true to form, he didn't act forlorn. He could not even hear him sigh. 'Cause it's smart, poised, Jerry Lynch, does not waver and does not flinch, always showing great restraint. Our Jerry will never complain, always showing great restraint. Our Jerry will never complain.
Boy, time flies when you're having fun at the Southern District of New York, doesn't it? Having finished his tenure as a U.S. attorney and spending the next 8 years teaching at Columbia, molding young minds in law, and doing something law professors like to call lucrative consulting, an interesting opportunity began to take shape for Professor Lynch.
Bill, I'm Chuck Schumer. I need someone good. No skeletons in the closet. Not too liberal. Nothing that'll hold up the nomination. Squeaky clean.
You need someone smart. Not just smart, but the smartest guy in the room. Everywhere he goes. Someone with government experience and a thirst for knowledge.
Where am I going to find that? Government experience and intellectual curiosity? They're like oil and vinegar. I need somebody outside the box, a real star.
You ever heard of Jerry Lynch?
Staffer, what do you have on Jerry Lynch?
Nothing, Senator Schumer, sir.
Good. No skeletons, no arachnism that will scar off the other side. He's a brilliant professor up at Columbia.
You hear that? No skeletons, he says. You know what to do.
Dig up some skeletons, Senator Schumer?
That's right. I want you in a 24-hour detail in Morningside Heights. I want to know what he eats, who he eats with, is he regular, everything.
24/7? Tomorrow's my son's birthday.
And what better present to know his mother's working for a higher purpose than in my unimpeachable record of nominating judges. Now, dig!
Oh, yes, sir.
Now, Bill, just what makes sense? Some liberal Ivy League academic deserving of a spot on the bench in the Southern District of New York?
Well, how long you have, Chuck?
His resume is filled with honors he's amassed throughout the years. He's written books and articles and shown the world he has no peers. He's taught at Columbia in language always very clear. With classes taught across the globe, he has been teaching everywhere. In Israel and in Tokyo, in Buenos Aires, Amsterdam. He's even lectured students when he visited the Netherlands. He quotes the works of writers dating back to ancient Rome and Greece. He's fluent in dead languages that no one here will ever speak.
He's fluent in dead languages that no one here will ever speak. Fluent in dead languages that no one here will ever speak. Fluent in dead languages that no one here will ever speak.
He's an avid theater goer and admirer of a modern dance. Capella, Swan Lake, and Giselle, and music of Prokofiev. He loves Stravinsky's Rites of Spring and ballets danced by Nijinsky. He is the very model of a man who is quite inspiring.
He loves Stravinsky's Rites of Spring and ballets danced by Nijinsky. He is the very model of a man who's quite inspiring.
He's worked with Lawrence Walsh, the independent counsel handling the deep investigation into intra-contra scandaling. He oversaw replies to pretrial motions brought before the court and briefed and argued the appeals in U.S. versus Ollington. In prior days, he did achieve a talented AUSA. He prosecuted complex cases, fighting crime with little pay. His earnings grew when he became appellate chief with clear vision. So worthy he became the chief of the criminal division.
He was a leading member of the law school's noted faculty, teaching courses with the needful legal practicality, displaying his humanity and gifted personality.
The students voted him their favorite teacher overwhelmingly. The students voted him their favorite teacher overwhelmingly. The students voted him their favorite teacher overwhelmingly. The students voted him their favorite teacher overwhelmingly.
The students voted him their favorite teacher overwhelmingly. The students voted him their favorite teacher overwhelmingly.
I fear the song must end because there simply is not enough time. I'm in despair and cannot bear to craft here yet another rhyme. And though this poem is intricate, I'm left in a predicament because I cannot fully stress the breadth of his accomplishments. And though this poem is intricate, we're left in a predicament because we cannot fully stress the breadth of his accomplishments.
No dirt, Senator. Squeaky clean, just like you wanted.
No dirt, you said?
As all of you know, Gilbert and Sullivan can be quite convincing. However, Chuck Schumer isn't the only one who needed convincing. As Senate Judiciary Chair Orrin Hatch got called away to an important intelligence briefing, the confirmation hearing was led by a fossilized husk, Senator Strom Thurmond.
Now, Lynch, you there. What's your marital status?
Married to my wife, Karen. I met her in college.
Good. Very good. Tell me, son, do you go to church?
1 out of 2 ain't bad.
So, he is now and forever would be known as Judge Lynch. The only thing left to do was to set his mark on the judiciary by beginning to author some of the most seminal decisions of our... No! Not Twombly! Everyone is interested in Twombly. Twombly isn't even that interesting. Okay, they wanted to change the pleading standard, and they did. Judge Lynch had more important things on his mind, like putting his encyclopedic arts knowledge to good use.
Wood v. Cole, 644 F. 3rd, 83, page 110, footnote 7. If any potential for ambiguity exists, it comes from the phrase, I think. While the phrase implies a current understanding or desire, its context determines the strength of that conviction. Compare William Shakespeare, Timon of Athens, Act 1, Scene 2. I wonder men dare trust themselves with men. Thinks they should invite them without knives. Good for their meat, safer for their lives. And William Shakespeare, the first part of Henry VI, Act 3, Scene 1. Methinks, my lord, should be religious, and know the office that belongs to such. With id, sorry. Act 5, Scene 2. Thank you. And yet, methinks I could be well content to be mine own attorney in this case. In various contexts, I think could be part of an emphatic assertion of the right to counsel, as in, you want me to talk, but I think I should get a lawyer. Or it could be subsumed into an ambiguous statement, as in, I think I should get a lawyer, but I'm not sure. It could also be little more than throat clearing, designed to show proper deference to an authority figure, as in, I think I'll call my lawyer now. Similarly, emphasis plays a role. I think I should get a lawyer more strongly asserts the right to counsel than does, I think I should get a lawyer. Nevertheless, whereas here, the immediate circumstances indicate that the speaker intended his words' plain meaning, it would be inappropriate for us to graft our own emphasis onto the language, since a literal, uninflected reading of, I think I should get a lawyer, expresses a belief that counsel is needed, and Arnold himself testified that Wood asked for a lawyer. We cannot say that the state court erred in interpreting it that way.
Who would have thought that Shakespeare contemplated thinking that much? It was that kind of brevity and ease of understanding for readers that made Judge Lynch's decisions appointment reading.
No judge can keep up with a caseload like the SDNY's without some help, though some people
Seem to think that they can do better on their own.
Hello, sir. We're here to help.
Here to help who?
You, sir. We're your law clerks.
Clerks? What do you need clerks for? I can draft a summary judgment of this decision faster than you can tie your shoes.
But working in the district court can't just be all pre-trial motions. There have to be long trials, like really long trials. Like longer than it took Yoda and the Jedi Council to realize that Blue Senator Sheev Palpatine was the Sith Lord they had been looking for, right?
What are you talking about?
Plus, clerks are like Padawans. Every great master needs a Padawan. Obi-Wan and Anakin, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan before that. Nerd alert.
I like her. Listen, Arun, you can clerk for me under one condition.
Of course, anything.
If you ever bring up Space Wars in my chambers again, I'll have you disbarred.
Yes, sir.
Besides, no one ever goes to trial anymore. Everything settles.
But sir, hiring some clerks would free up your time. You could finally finish that Scalia on Aristophanes.
I like the sound of that. God forbid someone around here could reference real culture. You're both hired.
want to thank all of you fine folk for enjoying the first act. Please make your way to the bar in an orderly fashion for a brief intermission.
There's no intermission.
What do you mean there's no intermission? What about all these jokes I wrote in high school theology to raising kids in New York City?
As much as I'm sure we'd all love to hear those, we've all got tickets to Operation Mincemeat on Broadway. I think we can still make it if we just land the plane.
Mincemeat? Like what we just made of those classic songs? So, how do we end it?
Another song, of course. And then I suppose we can let Judge Lynch defend himself. A response from the defense. Really honoring Judge Lynch's life's work.
We know you like to talk, Jerry. But try to keep it brief. Will you, Jerry?
And now we're all set for Judge Lynch to speak.
This is the end of our little show. Lynch. No time to strike, just one more blow. Lynch. We still have good material, clever lines and work for another day. Sadly, our night is ending, our jokes must wait another day. We trust that you will be a good sport. Lynch. Not try to take our rudeness to court. Lynch. Please say that you're not sitting there finding ways to ruin our careers. Everything said you said in jest. No need to take for our arrest. We must give love, respect, and good cheer. We heard that you were from the big sin. Lynch. That mocking you would be a great sin. Lynch. We disbelieve the rumor mill that before clouds her hair. No fear that you retaliate for your lofty bench upon the chair. We'll turn the stage now over to you. Lynch. Willing to give the devil his due. Lynch. It's time to voice a ceremony that was exactly how you feel. Your special fascinational proved to be inspirational. We think you're just sensational. Lynch. Lynch. Lynch.
Before I call up Judge Arun Subramanian, who is the Master of Revels, to attempt to defend Judge Lynch, I want to thank our writer, Jack Stiglmeyer, our lyricist, our incredible lyricist, Bruce Turkle, Judge Stuart Aaron for agreeing to play the lead, and the entire cast and our accompanist, Peter Tizoza on the piano, the rest of the band, Webster McBride on the guitar, and Judge Jerry Leibovitz on the drums.
And we cannot forget our wonderful director, Marty Scott.
Thank you. Judge Subramanian, where are you? I can't see anything. Okay.
All right, how's everybody doing tonight? All right, great. Your Honor, may I proceed? I miss saying that. All right. Now, nothing about Judge Lynch is free. not his accomplishments in the legal field, his list of memorable opinions, or his speeches, but I will try to be brief here. On behalf of all of the law clerks, here is a top 10 list of the best things about working for Judge Lynch. Number 10, you didn't have that much work to do. Because Judge Lynch could do it all himself, it was actually a pretty cushy gig. In fact, 10 is the number of opinions Judge Lynch was able to draft in the time that it would take us law clerks to draft one. Number 9, Judge Lynch is a role model to all of us on how to respect your colleagues. For instance, in a recent published interview, he showered praise on his Second Circuit brethren. Quote, "It's not like I think the Court of Appeals are a bunch of idiots." I think we can all agree that they are not a bunch of idiots. Number 8, you also don't have to worry about getting reversed, because Judge Lynch almost never got reversed. Now here's a quote from that same interview. See, Judge, I'm just really generating interest for the interview here. Everyone should go check it out. Of what he mostly thought in the rare instances where he got reversed. Quote, "What's wrong with these people? I'm obviously right." And that is a lesson that I will take to heart in this job. Number 7, you learn how to succeed in legal academia, which is to write one really long article about the RICO statute, divide it up into 4 articles, use those 4 articles to get tenure, and then never write a law review article. Number 6, he will show you how to protect our most basic freedoms, like standing up to employers who try to fire employees for things they did off the clock. Siding with one valiant pro se plaintiff, Judge Lynch wrote, quote, "Nelson correctly notes that," here quoting Nelson, "what I have admitted to about unlawful consumption of pot in a hot tub with gorgeous women is irrelevant to this case." Here, Judge Lynch. And you're sitting there doubting that Judge Lynch actually wrote that. Doubt no more. The case is Nelson versus Beechwood Organization from 2006. Do not ask who the law clerk was that was assigned to that case. Number 5, one of the benefits of clerking for Judge Lynch is that if you're ever interviewing with Senator Schumer for a federal judgeship, you don't have to say anything about yourself, because Senator Schumer will spend the entire interview talking about how great Judge Lynch is. Number 4, he will inspire you to pursue a career in public interest law, a path that many of Judge Lynch's clerks have taken, which is also why there will never be anyone with money to pay for Judge Lynch's judicial portrait. Clerks, we can't paint for ourselves. Our artistic skills are about as good as the singing we just subjected you to. But the good news is, now we have AI. I'd like you to know that I submitted Judge Lynch's picture to ChatGPT, and I asked it to come up with a judicial portrait. And so, if I may, here's Exhibit 1. I'm not real, so there's a couple of things here. I mean, first of all, I don't know why there's a squirrel here. or the sun. And there's six states, I guess. So we're doing okay. But, everything else is great. Okay, so now we're on to number 3. You can learn about all the classical literature that you didn't bother to read in college. Did you know that a couple of years ago, Judge Lynch taught a class of college kids at Columbia on the classics? Can you think of anything more intimidating for a hungover newbie freshman than to face Judge Lynch? Some quotes from Judge Lynch about the class. When meeting his students, quote, "I was reminded quickly that none of them know how to write." just like his law clerks when they start, on his relentless efforts to fix their writing. Quote, there would be 3 pages of their writing and 4 pages of my commentary on what they wrote. In response from Karen, quote, you can't do this. This is like you're making this into your life. You cannot do this. Nevertheless, he persisted. On the rigor of the course, quote, I would read to the students in Greek and Latin, even though not one of them knew either. Number 2, you will quickly learn everything you never wanted to know about the New York Yankees, Judge Lynch's favorite baseball team. And he's the team's favorite judge, or at least the second one. And don't take it from me, take it from the Yankees' all-time great, Reggie Jackson, AKA Mr. October himself. And just for the record, this is not AI, this is actually Reggie Jackson, and I have the cameo receipt to prove it. Do we have the audio?
Hey, Judge, Mr. October here. You sound like a cool dude. Yankee fan that works. I was your guy that works. And I just see where I think you made the Yankees proud. Just want to say a little bit of opinion of yours on the Twombly case. I read it once or twice. I don't know if I did it, but you're out on the right side of it, that's for sure. And happy that you made that decision. Anyway, I see where you were the man. You were the ladies' man. Coolest dude in Regis High School. That's what they say. I just want to say congratulations to you on a wonderful birthday. This is what I call the fuel for life. Getting props, getting thought about, getting messages sent to you from loved ones and people that care about you. It is the fuel for life, which you know that well, I'm sure. Anyway, my best to you. You have a wonderful day, enjoy, and you know, there's nothing like family and friends to stop, look you in the chest and say, hey, we love you, my friend, we love you. Take care, enjoy, and Mr. October's on it at your tooth.
Number 1, but the best thing about working for Judge Lynch is being just a small part of his tremendous legacy. I'm among the thousands of law students lucky enough to have had Judge Lynch as a professor, and among the over 100 law school graduates who had the privilege to clerk for Judge Lynch. And I can say this from firsthand experience. Judge, you've had a lasting impact on the law in America, but more importantly, you've changed the lives of thousands of future lawyers in this country for the better, myself included. The impact of your teaching, mentorship, understanding, and kindness, values that are so often forgotten today, will be felt for generations to come. And I'm looking forward to hearing you tonight. So here's Judge Lynch to tell you why, quoting Mr. Nelson, occasional pot smoking in a hot tub with gorgeous women is entirely irrelevant to these proceedings.
You don't know what an accomplishment it was for these people up here to stand up here with these lights shining. I can't imagine how they could do it. I'm having a little trouble myself. I think I can be pretty sure just because there's hardly any corrections I need to make on the facts. Really only 2. One, the thing with the holy cards of St. Gerard. You know, I know where they got that story, but I got it from the same source, and I didn't get that story until 30 years after it happened. I had no idea at the time that I was cutting such a swath through the 6th grade girls at St. Matthias. If I did, it probably would have changed my life. On the other hand, even with the benefit of hindsight, I don't know how many of you can remember your middle school years or have gone to your children's middle school classrooms. 6th grade is when the girls are maturing very rapidly and the boys are immaturing like crazy. And the girls are very intimidating, therefore. You go into a 6th grade classroom, it's made up of little boys and young women. Now imagine yourself being put into that class direct from 5th grade at 10 years old, when you were short in the 5th grade. And now you're in this thing. So I certainly did not think that anything like that business of the pictures of St. Gerard were going on. And in fact, even with the benefit of hindsight, I now understand, because if you look at the picture, this is 2 years later, the picture on the front of your program, you can see right away that whatever emotional energy was coming at me from the 6th grade girls, which I was entirely not noticing or seeing or feeling, whatever that emotional energy was, it was more like what a tween girl today might have for Pikachu or Paddington Bear, and bore no resemblance whatever to what those girls 2 years later were projecting towards Sir Paul McCartney. So that's one correction. The other is, I don't know who this Karen Lynch person is. I don't know anyone of that name. My wife, Karen Marisak, has never changed her name, thank goodness, because Mrs. Lynch was my mother, and even though I studied Oedipus in Greek, I wouldn't like that at all. So those are the two factual corrections. I have to admit that I did not approach this project with any great enthusiasm. When Rita Warner came and asked me about would I approve doing this, I said, it's a free country. We have the First Amendment. What do you need my permission for? I was very concerned. I thought it would be embarrassing. First, I thought it would be embarrassing because they would uncover all the secrets and expose me for what I truly am, other than pedantic and long-winded. Then I realized that this is lawyers talking about a judge, and then I figured, and this came out to be much more true, that it would be embarrassing because it would be way too hagiographic and pretty lame as far as a roast. I think Arun got more shots at me in 5 minutes than the whole script. And he was supposed to be my defense lawyer. By the way, I did get a birthday greeting once from Reggie Jackson, also via cameo, but I think that wasn't it, right? That was it? Oh, okay. So now I know who gave that one up. Okay. So anyway, the other possibility was it might just suck, but I didn't realize that, and I realized soon enough as I thought about it, that the New York bar has so many talented people and so much suppressed entertainment skills that of course it wouldn't suck, and of course it would be highly entertaining, as indeed it was. Chief Judge Livingston said to me something like, oh, you really see who's going to play you. And so I started thinking, who could it be? I mean, it's a musical comedy. So Jonathan Groff came to mind. Well, I know he's busy. So I thought it would have to be Hugh Jackman. But he's kind of tall for the part. Then I looked at the title and thought it was getting against my childhood. So I thought, well, who could that? Daniel Radcliffe. But as I was walking here from the subway in Times Square, there I saw a big picture of Daniel Radcliffe. He's busy on Broadway, too. So I guess he couldn't make it tonight. But one of the things about New York theater and the New York theater community is that sometimes the star doesn't show up and the understudy comes on. And didn't Daniel Radcliffe's understudy do a terrific job? So that was anyway, I went from trepidation to sort of zen eventually about this project. But then I thought you'd want to know how I feel now after seeing the show. Now, I heard that Laura Swain sang after her roast. And now, she has an unfair advantage. She actually can sing. And I thought I might try to get the musicians to accompany me, and then I realized I can only sing in the key of off. And musicians don't usually like to try to do that. So it's going to be kind of a cappella. But here's how I feel. I feel roasted. I feel toasted. You folks hosted a wonderful show. Now I boast that this year, Twelfth Night chose to feature me. I feel famous, just like Amos. I'm as popular as chocolate chips, and I pity any judge who isn't quite as hip. See that super judge on that stage up there? Who could that attractive judge be? Such a brilliant mind, such a clever guy. He's a perfect mensch. Could that judge be Lynch? No way. On this circuit, where I once clerked it, like Judge Friendly, I've become a star. 'Cause I'm loved, or at least kind of liked a little bit, by the New York City bar. So I want to thank Mr. Bernstein and Mr. Sondheim, and apologies to them. I want to thank everybody who participated in putting this thing together. It's so great. I want to thank Arun, who I spotted as a first-year law student in my criminal law class and knew immediately what he would one day become, and I'm so proud of him. Of course, I want to thank Karen for letting them know how pedantic I can be. Secret Karen, they knew. This is a fun fact about me. It is true that I attended 4 schools, St. Matthias, Regis, Columbia College, and Columbia Law School. It is true that I graduated first in the class each time. It's also true that I only attended 2 co-ed schools, right? Because Regis was an all-boys school and Columbia College was all men. When I went there, that was a big help if you want to finish first in the class, because you eliminate half the population from the competition. But the fun fact is this: in the 2 co-ed schools that I attended, the smartest girl in the St. Matthias class was Delia Hayes, then Delia Bolekis, and in Columbia Law School, the smartest girl in the class was Judge Denise Cote, and they are both very close friends of mine. I have this thing for strong women. I think that's the thing, including the person who is not Karen Lynch. And especially, finally, thanks to all of you for bringing the love. Much appreciated. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And